A surd is the square root of a number which cannot be accurately represented as a fraction. So examples are, I said a surd is the square root of a number which cannot be accurately represented as a fraction. So these are some examples of surds: root 2, root 3, root 10, root 11. As we go on, you see the reason we call this kind of numbers surds. Now, in dealing with surds, there are some basic rules we always use. The first one is that root A times root B is root AB. Also, root AB is root A times root B. Root A over root B is equal to the same thing as root A over B. Or root A over B is, so we can simplify from left to right or from right to left, depending on what our problem looks like every time we come across it. The third one is root m plus n, or let's keep to the letters we've been using. Root A plus B is not equal to root A plus root B. This is another rule of surd. I can also write it as root A plus root B. Root A plus root B is not equal to root A plus root B is not equal to root A plus B. D. Subtraction is also not equal. Root A minus B is not equal to root A minus root B. I can also write from left to right. Root A minus root B is not equal to root A minus B. These are basic rules of surds. E. There's another one that says A root B. A root B is equal to the square root of A squared times B. A root B, A times root B is the same thing as the square root of A squared times B. So also we can write that the square root of A squared times B is equal to A root B. So take note of these basic rules of surds. We'll be using them in simplifying different surds as we move on. Let's take some exercises or some examples. These examples are from Further Maths Project 1, Exercise 3. Let me check the page 26. Further Maths Project 1, Exercise 3, page 26. So the first question here says, we should write each of the following as complete square roots. So the first question is 3 root 5. To write this as complete square root, we employ our fifth rule. This one. This is the rule that will be useful for question 1. So to write this as complete square root, 3 root 5 will be equal to root 3 squared times 5. That's what root 9 times 5. Root 9 times 5 is the same thing as root 45. Let's go to the second question. B says 4 root 3. We want to write it as a complete square root. 4 root 3 is the same thing as square root of 4 squared times 3. That's square root of 16 times 3, and 4 root 3 is the same thing as root 48. C, 5 root 7. 5 root 7 is the same thing as square root of 5 squared times 7. What does that give us? That gives us square root of 25 times 7. 25 times 7 is 35, 14, 175. So 5 root 7 is equal to the square root of 175. Now you should do the rest yourself. Let's make this class exercise 1. I've done A, B, and C. You do it from 1D to J yourself.